It was one of those nightmares that you never want to go through. When they told me that I had to move, I couldn't believe it. I had put everything in it, and I didn't know that anything like that could happen.
The city says the business is not complying with zoning laws, and the business says it's being unfairly targeted.
This is the story about one of the most egregious forms of zoning abuse we've ever seen.
Yeah, at issue is about 20 acres in rural West Davenport where Jim Capranos runs JC Landscaping and Maintenance, a company that's been in business for about 25 years.
You would love that live and let live, but it just doesn't seem to work.
The top-down thinkers in the Dallas City Council decided that they'd prefer that his land be a restaurant or something else that would appeal to his up-and-coming neighbors.
You could be in business today, doing real well, and tomorrow they could close you down.
I don't know Mr. Hanga. I've looked at his shop. It looks like a neat, clean shop, and everybody needs to get their car fixed. We all acknowledge that, but unfortunately, sometimes when you have a proliferation of these auto-related businesses, you're not going to get national credit tenants come in like Starbucks, Macaroni Grill, or nice sit-down restaurants and so forth. They're not going to spend $1 million or $2 million to be next door.
You could be operating a business right here, a legit business, and then the city, if they decide that you have to move, you can lose your livelihood.
But the city zoning board says his land isn't suited for his trucks and the facilities he's built as part of the company's tree and snow removal services.
It's basically trees and snow. We've been doing it for 25 years.
On court documents, the city argued Capranos' circumstances are of his own making. Plaintiff moved his business to the subject property when it was already zoned agricultural. He made no inquiry as to whether the operation of the tree removal and snow removal business would constitute a permitted use. Now, this case has been in court for about 2 years, and a decision is expected sometime soon. Capranos lives on this property, and he said he hasn't decided what he'll do if he loses.
I believe that I'm doing the right thing.
The sheriff in Granby says that Marvin Heemeyer was behind the wheel during a 90-minute rampage in that fortified bulldozer.
Town manager Tom Hale says the suspect, Marvin Heemeyer, was upset about the placement of a concrete batch plant next to his business.
He was upset that a batch plant was built next to his muffler shop.
Take us again through his gripe. I don't quite understand what he was upset about.
Well, I wasn't really paying attention because I thought that he was just kidding, and he had mentioned something about that he purchased this land to build his muffler store at a public land auction, and that unbeknownst to him, the man who had owned the property and that was losing it was bidding against him, and he wasn't able to exceed the bid that this person had bid on, so he ended up winning the property, and the man actually had annexed this piece of property under the table with the town of Granby, because several other buildings that were taken out had to do something part to do with this land transaction.
He was not a happy camper.